The following is a special presentation. Good Wednesday evening, friends and neighbors. Tesuichi at the desk, and hang on a second, wasn't I just streaming like 10 minutes ago? I was, but now I am joined by my good friend and collaborator Ringo. Say hello to the internet.
Hey, I've never done this before.
Hey, it's great to finally have you on as we break down our project Isekai no Yakyu. That stands for Isekai, Alternate World Yakyu Baseball. We've put together a short presentation, and I've got Out of the Park Baseball up and running right now with our A set of mods, so we can walk through some of the uniforms, talk through what this project looks like, and if you have any questions, we'll be happy to answer them. So let me just bring up our presentation here. So yeah, here's the rationale for why we're doing what we're doing. If y'all haven't been following the forums and the Discord, you may not know this, but the League Redacted has been removed from Out of the Park Baseball 23. And in fact, as of the latest patch, it will scramble and convert the league to a South African league if you try to load it. So, myself and Ringo, we've come together and put our heads together to come up with not one, but two alternate Japanese baseball universes for you to use. Now, there's not going to be any fictional player or any real players, real coaches. I think I may have done that accidentally in my test bed because I didn't remove any Japanese player who's in MLB. You'll see what I mean in a moment. We are going to play a game later.
Mm-hmm.
But that's really what drove us to create this. This has been a month in the making, basically since they announced that NPB and its mods would be removed from the forums. So instead, we've created the Japan Professional Baseball Organization. And Ringo, if memory serves, you actually set the dates to be accurate for when this actually was.
Yeah, year-wise, and I made it references to dates that are important to me and maybe as well to you.
And Sarayuki Kato is not a real person, right?
I just merged the CEO and commissioner's names.
Okay, and Kato is a pretty common last name in Japan anyway, so we're not going to catch anything. And for those NPB fans, does the guy in the O look familiar? There's a reason we've nicknamed him O-san. That's a very famous silhouette. I will leave that as a trivia for you to figure out who that is. But the font is called LOT or LOT. I'm not sure if it's named after the Polish airline, but I wanted something big and chunky for the logo, and this fit the bill exactly. So I'm really happy with how the league logo came out.
I agree.
So the way it's set up is that it's going to mirror, like, I'm taking my cues from the original, from like other sources that parody or mimic NPB without stepping on anyone's toes. I was chatting about this with Yukarin Kazami, who we will raid into at the conclusion of this broadcast yesterday, about how Gurazeni, a baseball anime, basically has the real team's designs just with a different logo or different team name. So instead of the Yogurt Birds, they're the Tokyo Spiders or the Jingu Spiders. Instead of the Newspaper Giants, they are the Tokyo Hops. And instead of the internet company Predator, they are the Sendai Golden Cups. So that's why we're doing like close enough, but not exactly. So, and we've also been able to keep the same number of games played per year, the same regular season. And Ringo, you actually set up 2 minor leagues, which is an interesting twist compared to the real League Redacted. Why'd you go with
Yeah,
2?
because I am a Hawks fan, and they have two, or actually they have 3 minor league systems, and I thought it would be only fair so that in this world, all of them would have 2 minor league systems for their rookies and their developmental players as the talent pool gets increasingly bigger as time goes on. I also, we'll get into this later, but the my plan on the side was to spread them out a little bit more like the J League did in the early 90s, and how they have teams more focused all around Japan instead of like centraled around 2 major hubs of Kansai and Kanto. And the main goal was to make sure every single island got at least 1 representative for their uh for the league, which is why Shikoku is finally actually in the major leagues.
What, you mean the Ehime Honda Comets aren't a real thing? Come on.
I wish. I wish.
So you'll notice that the minor leagues are only set up in the B set in Ringo's side. In my side, we just have a reserve roster set up, mostly because I wanted to reflect the organization limit of the real league. And also, if you bloat your minor league, your one minor team too much, nobody's getting to get any playtime. In Out of the Park, if you have a reserve roster, they will continue to develop even though they aren't playing any games. So, 6 of one, half dozen the other. Both of us went into this with the idea of let's actually develop your prospects. As for the 2 leagues, I liked what you suggested with this, Ringo. Instead
Mhm.
of the American and the National, we have the Japanese and the National, or the Nihon League and the
Mhm.
Zenkoku League. Once you gave me that idea, I'm like, yes, we have a winner. And
Mhm.
I came up with the logos realizing, oops, the N and the Z are kind of the same letter, just rotated 90 degrees. So that's why the N in Nihon has a serif, while the Z in the, or Z if you're American, in the Zenkoku is sans serif. And that's why the bats are here to denote that this is the correct orientation.
That, and also it prefers more of hitters with the DH allowed, whereas
I
the
hadn't even
Nihon League
thought of that. Oh, I am too clever.
whereas the Nihon League has the balls of the pitchers.
Oh, that is so clever. I didn't even register. So we're going to start off with the A set. This is mimicking the real life League Redacted, at least in the modern era. I do have historical logos. We'll get to those in due time. Some of these will show up in Ringo's B set. There is some crossover, as well as one team that actually flips leagues. You'll see the Hiroshima Phoenix on both sides. So we're going to not just step through how we came up with these designs, but also I've got the game loaded up in Out of the Park Baseball that I'll be able to show you those jerseys in real life. Starting off with the Tokyo Golden Kites. The team name is not in reference to any flying object. A golden kite is a kind of predatory bird. And sure enough, that's what the original name that the founder of the real team this is based on wanted to name them instead of what they came back from America with. So that's why we have the Tokyo Golden Kites playing out of the Tokyo Dome and looking a
We
little something like this.
they often like to refer themselves as the Kinchi instead of the Golden Kites inside of Japan. They are very conservative about that and will call you out on that.
So I wanted to get colors that represented the award being given out. It's got blue ribbons, it's got green ribbons, but the primary are crimson and gold. Ringo found the primary logo in an Out of the Park logo set. I think it's from a defunct football team. And I, of course, had to go.
Denver Gold.
Thank you.
De-
And I had to make the small logo as a monogram just because I liked the way those 2 letters came together. Although by default, the team only comes with home and away. I think I'm pretty sure in the quick start I do have it set up that there is an alternate jersey you can add in as well. I'm not sure if any of the alternates are going to show up here. Let me take a look.
on on
Nope.
my quick start though, I believe I did set those up to have those unis work, at least for the ones that I made alternates for, or we made alternates for. that cross over into my league.
All right. So unfortunately, the file that I've loaded up here does not have those ready, but there is a red alternate with Kinshi on the front. So that's the Golden Kites. Very conservative. That's why their road jersey still is gray. A lot of the other teams will have a team color road jersey, but not these guys. Too
Don't
conservative.
forget to knock off beards.
Knock off what?
Beards.
Oh, right. Yes. All beards for team members turned off. Thank you.
Yep.
Almost forgot about that. Next up, one of the other long serving teams, the Nagoya Dolphins, so named after one of the previous teams that used to play in Nagoya, but not the one that survived into the modern era. I admit that logo is ripped off 100% from a Fakemon, a fake Pokemon that was designed to look like a tortoise airplane combination. You can still kind of see the goggles a little bit around the eyes, but I tuned it a little bit. I just wanted that exact form and that exact shape for the logo.
Yeah,
So
it resembles like a D almost.
I'm too clever for my own good. I did not catch that. So these are the only guys with a white panel front hat in the entire league. That's not really shown too much or seen too much in Japan. You'll also see that the colors do kind of mimic the Miami football team, but not 100% so. If anything, the road jersey definitely looks like it could have belonged to the football team. But I really do like the way this came out. What am I saying? Of course, I'm going to like all the way these came out. I wouldn't put crap out onto the internet. You'll find the Nagoya Dolphins and Golden Kites in both of our quick starts. Question for later: will the teams have static rosters? So the quick starts that we've released will have a static roster on that day or in that save. So, but that means that the 1950 roster will not be available in your 2022 quick start. It won't show that those guys have previously played until I can figure out how to include a league history in a quick start. That's not going to be doable.
Yeah.
And the A and the B quick starts, completely different rosters.
Because we did this all separately.
Yep. Like two guys, like two companies trying to build a railway across a continent and meet somewhere in the middle, hopefully.
Hey, sounds like North America.
Yeah. Up next, the Hiroshima Phoenix, so named to represent the team's rise from the ashes out of the atomic disaster. So, logo ripped off from the internet. Got to have enough baseballs in the logo scheme. The small team logo, just like how the real Hiroshima team borrows the cap logo from the Reds, I want to borrow another NL Central team. That's the Pittsburgh Pirates P. So, road jersey, again, a rather conservative gray, but you'll notice we've got yellow and black and green as our primary colors. The alternate jersey gets a little more crazy. It's the tequila sunrise look, but with red, black, green, white, and the yellow colors. It's a feast for the eyes. Let's put it that way.
We like to call it the Phoenix Feathers.
The Phoenix Feathers. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite team, and this is one that I clearly had Buzz Lightyear on the brain for, the Yokohama Astrals, formerly known as the Whalers. And in the historical 1950 mod, you will spot the Shimonoseki Whalers logo is just basically ripping off the New England Whalers of the WHA. I have no compunction against ripping off logos from defunct teams. So for the Kawasaki and Yokohama Whalers, which I will work on, expect more of that. The Astrals idea came to me because the team right now is the Stars. I wanted to have another Astral themed logo. And I originally had an idea of doing a Y and A interlocking logo, but I wound up with the starburst you see there. And Ringo, you contributed the small part, or a part, or in terms of the number of stars on the main logo. What was that again?
The number of districts within Kanagawa Prefecture.
Right. Thank you. So, yeah, the oh, he's breathing. I just noticed. Huh. That's why all my screenshots look distorted. So, trying to go a little bit understated on the side panels, you'll see the road jersey is bright purple. Love it. And I keep meaning to go back and fix the font, make it a little smaller. But you know what? What the hey, Yokohama all the way to the armpits.
It happens with mine too.
Good point, Laboomstick. Parallels from each history changes, especially between players. I mean, also keep in mind the A set quick starts will have the MLB included. The B set right now does not, but you can always just add that in. So who knows? Maybe Major League Otani comes back to Japan and signs up with the Astros or the Bulls or the Woodpeckers. So I'm
Okay.
the third jersey here for the Astros is the Galaxy print. Japanese teams like to do a lot of screen printed stuff. We won't talk about the Kansai Club. They'll show up in due time. But this is just like a Galaxy print with their Astros on the front. I really like how that one came out.
I do want you to show that like live on stream.
Okay, actually, you know what? Hold on. I'm gonna just hop into if the actual thing I did build a quick start on didn't have the logo or the alternate jerseys in it. One, I got to update my quick start, but two, I can just go in and load the file that we're going to be showing off our actual gameplay action in, because I'm pretty sure that one does have the alt jerseys in. So sit tight, folks. We're gonna do a call. Hey, that's relevant. On Playing in Japan from Bill Gullickson, who, by the way, is one of the starting pitchers on the Big Hit Happy Bodies Japan alumni theme team that I have in Perfect Team. There's your crossover content.
Nice.
All right,
Let's
let's
see
go.
if those Woody.
Hey. All right, so there's our alternate. Okay, so we have the alternate for the Golden Kites. Let's go back to the alternate for the Astrals. That is a beautiful looking jersey. Screen printed glory. I know, right? It's fun what you can do with just extra layers in the out of the park uniform maker. So
yeah, we did this to learn how to use that.
basically, like because I didn't up until this. And by the way, we have gotten a request, a pre-23 version of these uniforms will be made available in due time.
Okay.
Oh, hey, good to see you. You don't have to worry about it. I can mimic your stuff. You just guide me. So don't sweat it.
Okie dokes.
Next up, the Kansai Cubs, because the original team playing out of Koshien was so named after a fellow industrial city like Detroit. In this case, they visited Chicago, and oh no, they sick two curses on this team from our universe. I love how we went with the ugly bear from the Boston Bruins. We had to go with an ugly looking animal for the logo. This one is using the Toronto subway font. Blame me, I'm a Toronto guy. I'm a transit guy. I actually own that font. I spent money on it. This is one exclusive to the A set you will see. And if we go hop over to the... Okay, I don't want to show the alternate right out the chute. I tried not to mimic the Chicago Cubs too much. So the home jersey has a chest logo. The road jersey has the team name and the city or the geographic area on the sleeve, and it's also not dark blue. And you know the Ultra Summer jerseys. Say hello to the Black Bear.
That is me laughing my rear end off.
Oh, it's glorious. Love it.
Yeah.
I may have to revise it to actually get the eyes like closer on the chest, but I think this will do for now. Faye, I'm glad you like it, Laboomstick.
Yeah, it is so dumb looking, but it's so good.
So bad it's good, yes. All right, let's keep going.
Yep.
The Tokyo Jaguars will show up in both the A set and B set. These did have some previous team names. This team name actually was one of the originals as suggested for the team when they rebranded in the 1970s. We decided to just run with it.
Yeah.
Oh, the slide didn't change. Yeah, I know it's being weird. There we go. Better? Laboomstick, give me a thumbs up. I think it's better. There we go. Okay. Go ahead, Ringo.
Yeah, initially, before we actually finalized the ideas in the B set, Tokyo was actually going to be the expansion team after Fukuoka and Kumamoto. had merged, but I had deleted the Flyers idea because I just didn't seem like it fit well with the Zenkoku League, and it forced a team that we will mention later to move across leagues, which I don't really like to do.
So the jerseys for the Jaguars are influenced by collegiate baseball teams, like sort of like looks like a varsity jersey. Same with the font, and that's in part because this team plays in a uniform or in a ballpark that has the collegiate league play in it, Meiji Jingu Stadium. So we got our home, we got our road. Notice the cap changes from a J to a T, and we got our alternate. Yeah, snakeskin pajamas, baby. I admit the alternates were my opportunity to go full goof. You'll also notice an alternate logo on the cap that's exclusive to this uniform design.
Come here.
Off to the Zenkoku League now. Yeah, the mustard color, right? The Zenkoku League starts off with the Sapporo Bruisers, formerly the Blue Sox, and then before that the Tokyo Bruisers, before they moved into Sapporo. This is an A-set exclusive, and the font is Kernit, not Kermit, Kernit. It is influenced in part by the Muppet, but I saw this logo from a WHA Philadelphia theoretical team, and I had to have it. It's a boxing kangaroo. So pinstripes, one of the few teams to have pinstripes in this game. And the
Another team,
road jersey has a very nice looking blue with a head spoon.
yeah, that it's like almost like merging the Yankees and Red Sox concepts.
Yeah, you know, in retrospect, I do see that. I trust me, I rip off the Red Sox plenty with the Tokyo Blue Sox. We'll get to them eventually. Or
Yeah, the
can...
pinstripes will be used in another team that we will talk about later.
That's right. We're going to come to that in due time. But I like how this one came out, especially... I did not mean to do that. Let's go back here. Trying to manage multiple screens. Here's the other pinstripe team, the Chiba Pirates. There's actually a manga that has the pirates playing in Chiba, and I took some inspiration from that manga's uniforms without aping them entirely. That logo I found basically as is, minus the wording underneath, and I'm like, great, okay, don't need to change the color scheme at all. This team formerly existed as the Tokyo Meteors before moving to Sendai and Kawasaki. I do have the Tokyo Meteors in the 1950 historical. Judging by how we're going for time, I don't think we're going to be able to show that one off on stream. You'll just have to look at the link on the forums, do a Google search for Isekai no Yakyu, or look at my social links here on Twitch. You'll be able to get a view of the mods and download them yourselves. So the bit that I nicked from the manga is the dramatically raked, upward slanting team name. It's atypical for teams to do that, but what the hey, let's get goofy with it. And then of course, all navy pajamas for the road. That's why the fans are known as the Navy.
Mm-hmm.
Redundancy, Department of Redundancy. I just realized most of my Zenkoku League is unique to me. I think the rest is... there's not much overlap between us on that front.
Yep.
So let's keep going, and I'll try to be quick. The Osaka Bulls did not start as the Bulls. They started as the Hyogo Gladiators before moving to Kobe in the 90s to become the Thunder. That is an interesting bit of crossover between Ringo Set and mine, in that his Kobe Thunder still exist. Mine do not. These Osaka Bulls are not the Osaka Bulls you'll see in the 75 and 2000 quick starts. That's a completely different franchise that got merged out of existence. Again, not all of this is fiction. The logo is straight up ripped off from a Toronto area Japanese curry chain called Gyugyuya. I saw that. I'm like, winner. Possibly curry dinner.
I almost said that.
And the font is SF Fedora, which is an La Boom 6, like, yes! Leonardo DiCaprio pointing at TV meme. I've also included a letter B logo if you want to make the small team logo a B instead of the bull head. The home jersey does have an underline. The road jersey does not. That's the Indiana Jones font, by the way, SF Fedora. And then we have an alternate that's in more of the deep red Bulls look. I like the alternate most out of the three,
I
but
agree.
it's a sharp look. I really like how this one came together. And
I think
again,
in a lot.
it makes me hungry.
Yeah, it does too. Me too.
Next up, the Saitama Panthers, born in Fukuoka. We didn't have an orange team anymore, and I realized, well, I should probably make an orange team at some point. So, because this was the last team I designed, this one got stuck wearing orange. That is the Kia Tigers stripes look at the back, which is why I try not to copy too much from one team to the next. So, orange cap, orange jersey stripes. The away jersey is is orange jersey black cap because orange on orange just makes you look like a pumpkin. La Boomstick is biased, I guess. And then the road jersey, prowling pajamas.
Yep, that one's good too.
Again, I can't even make fun of it because it actually looks kind of sharp. Also, notice no team name. You'll just have to guess who these guys are.
I just realized something. No, none of their caps are the same for their uniforms.
That is true. Next up, the team located in Fukuoka moved from Osaka, the Rings. So named because the wartime act changed their name to something that roughly translated means Great Ring, so they just decided to stick with it. The overlapping F and R on the cap logo is, I think, a stroke of genius from yours truly. And in the historical game, the OR is a monogram with the O turning into a diamond ring. This is another A set exclusive, and it's fun in quotation marks to work in monochrome because it makes it tricky. So we've got our home jersey with rings included inside rings. The away jersey, darker gray than usual because the gray is actually their primary color. City name and team name on the away jersey for a bit of a rarity. And then the alternate jersey, I went with a White Sox beach blanket. Just lean all the way into the White Sox references. I think this one is my favorite of the set, but I don't know if it's gonna show up in the 70s or 2000s looks.
I think it'll show up in 2000.
Yeah, that may be like the based on like the 2000s road jersey. Not a bad idea. The 75 and 2000 sets are not done, by the way. I still have to work on those. Which leaves me with the final team of the A set, the Sendai Woodpeckers. I wanted an avian that lives in the Tohoku region. The Japanese green woodpecker is the inspiration, but of course you don't call a team woodpeckers because let's go woodies and let's go peckers, and I had to include a dick joke somewhere in this set. Somewhere. And it had to be the woodpeckers. The red cap, black bill, and green jersey are all inspired by the woodpecker itself, which actually makes its way onto the jersey. Just a home and away for right now. I do not have any designs on a red road jersey, although that would be the or red alternate. That would be the obvious addition. This is not available in any historical quick start. To get this team, you got to start in 2004 or later.
They are the result of that Bulls Thunder merger.
Yes, Thunderbulls, which kind of sounds like a good band name, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the A set. Let's flip over and I'll let Ringo drive for a little bit. We may not have enough time to go into the game previews, but no, I think we can. Yeah, let me get that set up.
I'll try to be fast.
No.
But,
it's only fair.
I'm good at explaining.
I got the set B. You start explaining. I'm gonna get this loaded up. Explain why the Phoenix moved and why you picked some of the teams you did.
They were mainly the Phoenix moved because originally my leagues were different. It was mainly a northern and southern based league. So there was a split line between, like, I want to say somewhere in Honshu, that puts the Nagoya Dolphins as the southernmost team in Nihon League, and Hiroshima or Osaka as the northernmost. And so they're basically regionally located. So like travel is a little bit less complicated.
I just noticed that all the teams in the Nihon League are east of not Mount Fuji, but there were that break between the Chubu and the Kansai region. I didn't grok
Yep.
that before.
Yep, that was the entire reason why they did that in the first place.
Cool.
Because like it was because a lot of like Sapporo and Sendai especially struggled with traveling to like farther south, which initially would have prevented them had they not structured the league in such a way where they had to travel less.
Especially before the advent of jets. Imagine trying to take a ferry and then multiple trains to get from Sapporo to Fukuoka. Yikes.
Yep.
Speaking of which, let's start off with the Sapporo cranes. I got
Uh,
your quick start loaded so I can show off the jersey designs.
okay. The cranes basically they actually have a longer name than what they lead off to be. That being the Sapporo Red Crown cranes. After the Red Crown cranes that are found in Japan and Japanese mythology. They they started in Tokyo, as they said before, in 1945. They're basically the Sapporo Bruisers of this, except they had a little bit more stability. Um, they moved in '87 after being kind of shafted by the league and whatnot, and just forced to move there because there were too many teams trying to get into that Kanto region. And
Oh, this is a
they have
glorious looking jersey.
Yep, they have three jerseys, a baby blue and red, because a white jersey with the cranes and how I designed the cranes, which is mostly the fault of my own, they would not have been able to see the actual cranes on a white jersey, which is why they do not have one for their homes. And the red ones, I accidentally got inspiration from the Miami Marlins without actually looking at the Miami Marlins City Connect jersey. It just kind of came to me because I already used baby blue. Why not flip it around?
And I do like La
And
Boomstick's comment. Baby blue and red looks very pretty. Yeah, that's why St. Louis uses it. The Cardinals are clearly a big inspiration, especially on the team logo.
yeah, and every single quick start I ran, they kept dominating the Nihon League.
And then we've got
And,
our nighttime jersey. Oh, I love the cap.
yep, it is inspired by Japanese mythology. I believe it was the Return of the Crane's Favor, which revolves around a crane disguising herself as a man's wife to do something good in return, but I don't really remember the story off the top of my head. And the cap is one of the two parts of the small team logo, which only shows up as the small team logo, but not as a ball cap jersey logo.
Very cool. I love how this one came out.
Yeah, this one's arguably my favorite. This one I settled on like almost immediately because I wanted a Hawks to stay around, but I decided, hey, let's put them up north instead of down south. Like they're kind of just like a consistent their team
And
in
it's
this
another
one.
predatory bird that probably lives in the Tohoku region, so not that
Yep.
far of a stretch.
They were founded on what would be my negative 55th birthday.
So,
uh
walk us through the jerseys here. Just the home and away, right?
yep. I took inspiration for the SoftBank Hawks. That was basically it, except I didn't want them to be so like blatant, and I wanted it to be a little bit more bold based off of the old Atlanta Hawks version look,
Yeah,
not the
I
modern.
see that there's a little bit of inspiration there, and I love the thick pant stripe on both the home and
Yeah.
the road.
Yep, that was basically where I got that idea from, except on the original Hawks, they do not have a filling on that racing stripe, whereas this does, because we have that third color being important.
Right, right, right. Now, this one
And
is going to show up in both of ours, but mine only in a historical sense. The Kobe
yep,
Thunder, I love the cap logo. Like, just this font screams like My Chemical Romance to me.
yeah, I tried finding like some kind of like lightning in a bottle or like bold, in your face kind of thing. And that's where I kind of just found that by random, just trying to find like what would fit in like a 90s kind of thing.
And
Also,
the logo, where'd that come from?
it came from a minor league Canadian, a youth Canadian hockey team that I cannot find the logo actually for online. I found it in the generic logo set on the forums,
Oh,
and I
perfect. We hit our
recolored.
Canadian content
Yeah,
limits. We're good.
and I colored it green to fit the more to fit the Kobe City flag.
Right. That's one of the things that, if again, shameless plug, go look up Gaijin Baseball and his whole topic on the merger, and he'll explain why the real team this is based on ticked off so many fans. This was one of the rejected names that they polled fans for. So home and away,
Yeah,
we need more green teams in the league, and I'm thrilled that Kobe is going to be one of them. The Whalers will start green for Shimonoseki and Kawasaki, but will switch to blue by the time they hit Yokohama.
yep. All right.
Pretty straightforward, but don't
Mhm.
rock it. Simplicity sometimes is the best result.
Also, I made a mistake with the for with the Thunder and the Arrows. Um, the Flyers and Fukuoka, now Matsuyama, have the same name for 2 years.
Hmm.
They both have Flyers in 1950 to
It's
19.
Rough Riders versus Rough Riders. La Boomstick, you will get that reference.
Yep, and this one actually came, like the name of the Arrows came from one of Suigi's old expansion franchise concepts, except we colored it navy because the logo, which came from I believe an AC a like a hockey, another hockey, but this time it was the St. Louis Archers concept. And the colors in munis, I took inspiration from the New York Yankees.
Now, I admit, oh yeah, like that's a clear Yankees riff with the
Hmm.
blue and the pinstripes. It happens anytime you do blue, navy blue and pinstripes. The
I did.
Shizuoka Arrows are near and dear to my heart. My mainline perfect team club is named after them, or it uses their identity. Don't be surprised if I upgrade that to the 23 template and release it as Isekai no Yakyu expansions in due time.
Yep. Yeah, and they moved because of the battle between them and the Fukuoka Marines, which we'll get into later, but they're a different name now as a result of them moving out. They were the less known or lesser popular team and got hit harder by the lack of balancing in the 60s.
Up next,
And,
your replacement for the Kansai Cubs, the Osaka
yep,
Stars.
they did the exact opposite of what the Kansai Cubs did. Was they actually tried to represent all of Kansai first and then centered on Osaka because they believed that they were the star franchise of the Kansai area. They kept the name Stars, but they lost the Kansai battle and reserved to mainly Osaka, as the other two Kansai-based clubs of um, uh, Kyoto and Kobe popped up around the area.
And
And this
it's a
one was
very
the
striking design, just red
yeah
on red. I think
yeah
like again, simplicity works, and I think
yeah
you got a winner here.
yeah. This was the very first design that we actually agreed on, like when it came to uniforms. And the 5 stars represent the 5 districts of Osaka Prefecture. And
Two
then the
more to go.
Fukuoka Vipers.
This will be the Vipers.
Yep, the Vipers are. They changed their name as a result of the Marines moving out and saying, "Hey, let's be a little bit more intimidating than just Marines and Heroes of the Sea," which kind of struck a wrong chord after the whole war thing. But
Hmm.
they didn't really bother with it because they were too busy fighting the Flyers for that, or not the Flyers, the other Fukuoka team for the Clippers for Kyushu supremacy. And
And
they
I
were
like
also
that you went with an upside down Diamondbacks logo, and you've clearly taken some inspiration because you've got the snake skin too.
Yep, that was entirely intentional because like it's a snake. Why not use the snake skin? Like I actually I like the original Diamondbacks snake skin logo or uniforms from like 2016 to 2019.
And then the road
What?
jersey, basically just inverted.
Yep.
I'm glad that we both came up with purple teams in our own respective universes, even though they're complete. Actually, no, you got two purple teams because you're also using the Astrals.
Yeah, they're just different shades of purple. Yours is more of a neon, while mine is more of a like purple into blue.
Like a royal purple, yeah, or like a violet. Neat, neat.
And that baseball logo is actually modified from what was originally a softball logo or softball inside the mouth.
You are a pro at the graphics editing, Ringo. When we get into
Yeah.
game, you'll see what I mean. I'll point out the very clear edit to remove some league redacted content. I think this is the last club of the 12 of the
Yep.
your 12, the Kyoto Aces. And
This one
Kyoto
was
does
kind of
not
the
have
hardest
any
one.
baseball team right now, especially since the women's league team shut up.
Yeah, that the whole point was more geographic diversity. I struggled with a name here like very hard, and I was like, "Hey, let's just put in a baseball reference, as in they're a pitching oriented team. Why not make them the Aces?" Like it just kind of fit. Like it's like why not? That one was the hardest one to come up with because like Kyoto had no real history of a baseball organization, and the only one being kind of was the Robins, and I didn't want to rip that off entirely.
It's a solid looking jersey pair.
Yep, I I wish I did like a gradient with the bottom half of the jersey, kind of like the
Oh no, you wouldn't. That gradient jersey was hideous.
actually no, I think it was. I think I'm thinking of the cap. That's what I was thinking.
Either
Kind
way,
of like it was mainly a joke, but either way.
so now we're streaming the main game, not doing the PowerPoint presentation. I'm going to hop into the test bed one more time, and then we are going to play a game in Japan Professional Baseball Organization, the first JPBO game on stream. Unfortunately, we did take a little bit longer. Nothing redacted about playing in real stadiums. Not particularly. Didn't really. I didn't get the sense that was the case, especially since Silva M's stadium mods and Flying Canucks are both still up on the forums. My suspicion is that not every league redacted team owns their stadium.
That is true. I think only the Hawks, Fighters, Giants, and no, not the Marines. No, the Eagles. No, I think it's only the Hawks, Fighters, and Giants that own their stadiums independently.
So we're gonna get into a game. The rings represent Ringo. The woodpeckers are my club.
And this one
Last
is my
chance. Do you want to control this team?
no, no. I'm good. I'm good.
All right.
I because I don't even have the game loaded.
So we are going to get into. Actually, hold on a moment. Let me. No, we are going to get right into it. I'm not going to bother with fictional headshots. Let's get into today's game. You may recognize a couple names on this club. It'll be Toshiyuki Hayashi versus Shoshi Nakatani at Miyagi Baseball Stadium. It's the Japan Professional Baseball Organization, and it starts now.
Now this one is my favorite stadium modification. I made one modification to remove the player, and it turned out really funny. Into the bumps. Yeah, I think you can partially see it. Oh no. Light battery. Hold on.
Yeah, we got to find the right pitch angle to show off. I know what you want to show off. I think it might be third base dugout camera. Nope. Not blimp. Left field upper deck. Right field upper deck. Well, we're just showing off the whole stadium right now. Ah, come on. Deck circle. Yeah, okay, so you can just kind of make it out there behind the scoreboard. Hatsune Miku is right there instead of the one of the real pitchers for that team. So we're here at Miyagi Baseball Stadium. Rings versus Woodpeckers. We have not seen either of these clubs. I don't know who's on these teams. So this is going to be the first time for me managing my way through here. Okay, Ogawa looks like a base stealer, spray hitter. Wait, we can take out the heads-up display? All right, let's go batter's box. How do we turn off the heads-up display? Help! Oh yeah, let me also crank the player size a little bit. Okay, I can't figure this out. Onward!
My apologies, I had to run an errand.
Quite all right. All right, so first time.
Either way, what the stadium modification here was that I replaced, I think it was
Tanaka.
Yep, Tanaka with a Hatsune Miku ad.
And our first out in the JPBO is a fly out right back to the pitcher. Nakatani able to haul it in quickly. Nakatani, fly ball pitcher with 50 movement. Not the greatest, but we'll make it work. Got Tanabe up next. Noodle bat, but a bit of a pull hitter. So we're going to do an outfield shift. That's right back up the middle. That's going to be an infield hit. Deshi, despite the 75 position rating at shortstop, can't come up with it. So Tanabe, a bit of a base stealing threat. Now coming up next to center fielder Sumi. 2-2 on the way. Lined past the third baseman into left field. Yoshida's on it, and he will cut it off. Runners at first and second, and the Rings threatening early here. 2-1 on the way. Shallow fly ball to left. Yoshida's on it. Throw is coming home. Not in time. Rings take an early lead. Still one out here in the top of the first. Freddie Galvis.
Cool.
Coming up here. Called strike three. Susumu Kaku, the third baseman. Works a 3-1 count. Nakatani deals. That'll be a walk. Bases are loaded with 2 down for Arizmendi Alcantara. Looks like he decided to leave the bruiser. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Leaves the sacks juiced. And now the Woodpeckers are going to get things started against Toshiyuki Hayashi. Big finesse pitcher. Fastball, sinker, cutter, changeup pitch mix. It'll be Kishimoto, Okamoto, and then Yoshida. I think we're only going to do 1 inning of this. Then fast forward to the 9th, and then we'll hand things off to Yukagi Kazami, just in terms of time.
That sounds perfect.
That's batted on the ground. The second baseman, Alcantara, on it quickly, 1 away. Hirokumi Okamoto, another pull hitter in this Woodpeckers lineup, trying to get this into the Owendon stands. That's a line drive base hit up the middle. Okamoto, dangerous stealing threat. Let's take a look at Shibata's arm. Not the greatest, so maybe there's an opportunity for a stealing threat as Masataka Yoshida, cut by the Red Sox, now working here in the JPBO. That is a successful stolen base by Okamoto. Yoshida, line drive right to center field, and Sumi's going to get it. Masuda now, full count. Outside ball 4, Kenkichi Ishida, power hitter right fielder. Full count again, popped up. Center field, Sumi makes the grab. Through 1, it's 1-0 Rings over Wings in this case. We're going to sim ahead to the top of the 9th inning.
Wasn't it Peckers?
It is Peckers. I just found it. Wings was one of my original names, but I
Mhm.
mean, it's R versus W. It's rings and wings. Whatever.
Yep, that's
Waotaka
fine.
Oka coming in out of the bullpen. Wow, this is not a good pitcher. This is a long relief man for the Woodpeckers. Do we got anyone else? Teiron Guerrero, Shojiro Kato. We're gonna get Guerrero loose just in case Oka runs into issues. Shozo Sato pinch hitting here. Uh-oh.
That looks like a mismatch and a half.
Yeah, this could be dangerous. 0-1 on the way. That's a line drive into the left field corner. Yoshida's on it. Throw will come into the shortstop. Sato with a leadoff double. Fukui up next. He's going to get shifted on. 3-1 count. Outside ball 4. That'll be the end of Oka's day. Teiron Guerrero will come in to deal with Freddie Galvis, who will switch around to bat from the left side. 1-2 from Guerrero. Called strike 3. Kaku, the third baseman now. Guerrero trying to wriggle his way out of this one. Popped up just up the first base line. Second baseman charging all the way in. Breivik Valera bails out Guerrero and Masuda. Here's Alcantara. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Good pitching, Guerrero. All right. Fuga Yomoda out of the Rings bullpen. He's going to deal with the 2-3-4 of this team's lineup.
Yamada has intellectual limits, is the only thing I caught.
4-for-4 day by Okamoto. He's been smoking the baseball, but he's going to be an out this time. Yoshida now works a 1-1 count on the ground. Shortstop has it. Galvis putting it away. Down to their final out, the Woodpeckers. 2-0 count on Masuda. On the ground, Galvis has it. That's the ball game. The Rings spoil the game here in Sendai, defeating the Woodpeckers 5-3. So that is Isekai no Yakyu. You'll be able to get these quick starts on the Out of the Park forums. I'm just going to quickly grab the link and make sure that Yuka is still streaming so we can raid into her. Expect the 75 and 2000 quick starts to come out eventually. I'm not sure how much longer it's going to take because we do need to figure out things like new uniforms. Can I get the history from the 1950 going into the 75 and 2000? That'd be great. Love to be able to pull that off.
I think what we should do was shut up the 50 and then sim it to 1975 and then lock the quick start there.
That is a capital idea. If nothing else, it'll confirm if we can actually have the history come along with the league, especially because teams are going to be moving and teams are going to be changing their designs. Wow, there are like 5 people streaming Out of the Park baseball from the stream team. Fluffy Kitty Ninjas is going, Yukaiden Kazami's going, Sporer's going, PBE Sim. We're going to deposit you into the capable hands of Yukaiden Kazami because I promised her I was going to raid into her. You'll see me again next on Saturday for the Flying Purple Baseball Beaters. Be sure to tune into that. Ringo, thank you so much for joining me today on this broadcast and for the last month in pulling this entire project together.
Thank you.
Take care, everyone. Have a great rest of the evening. Time is precious, and I'm grateful that you've chosen to spend some of yours with us today. Firage, take us out.
Adios, amigos.